Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Diana and I am a tarot reader and transformational life coach, here to assist you on your journey of spiritual and personal development. And today I would like to do a pick a card tarot reading video with regards to a decision that you need to make currently. So this reading is for you if you are currently facing a decision of some kind and for one reason or another you find it very difficult to make that decision. Either you are afraid of the consequences it might create, or you don't know what is the best option for you, or maybe you are concerned with how it will change your life and what will be the impact and whether that's the right choice for you to make. So whatever is bothering you at the moment regarding this decision, I truly hope that this reading can give you some insight on that and help you move forward with your plans and goals. Also, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, take a look at the description box for all the details. But now let's take a look at the tarot decks. So here you can see the selection of tarot decks for you to choose from. This is deck number 1, this is deck number 2, this is deck number 3, and finally deck number 4. Do take some time to connect with your situation and with the decision that you need to make. Think about that. Think about the struggle that you may be having. What is the message that you are looking for, what you need to hear, what you would like to hear in this reading? And then when you're ready, pick the deck that resonates the most with you and take a look at the description box below for timestamps so that you can jump right to your reading. Hello again, group number 1. So this is your message if you picked the first tarot deck, the Witch's Tarot. And today I have prepared one of my favorite spreads that I like to do to give you the insight that you are looking for. It's called the integration spread. The reason being that it looks at both the subconscious and conscious aspects of your situation and gives you an advice on how to integrate both and how to get the best result out of that. Okay, but first let's see what is going on for you presently and why you feel that you need to have some insight on this issue, on making this decision. And as your current energy, you have the Queen of Swords. So I do think that the Queen of Swords could actually, it's a court card, so it could represent an actual person or a personality type that's in some way involved in this situation, in this decision making. And it could also represent an aspect of you personally. So if this is you, if this is an aspect of your personality, then you are really trying to make this decision based on your rational mind. You want to make sure that you have considered all the facts and you don't want to miss out on anything. You don't want to end up in a situation where you realize that, oh, I didn't consider this or I missed that. You want to be sure that you have really taken everything, every piece of information into account while making this decision, and you are approaching it from a very rational standpoint. You really want to put your emotions on hold here, and you want to be clear and really know what you are doing here, where you are going and why you are deciding in that way, in one way or another, basically. So that is the attitude that Queen of Swords embodies. And indeed, the downside of this could be that you are not paying a close enough attention to your intuition and how you feel, how this decision makes you feel. So it could be that, for some of you at least, it could be that you are being too rational. You are looking at this situation solely from this rational point of view, and you are really missing your gut feeling and how you feel. Because sometimes when we tune into our hearts, what we hear, our inner voice, it doesn't make sense at first. And we find it very hard to trust ourselves, to trust our gut instinct. And we kind of fall into the fear side of that, and we make our decisions and we act in accordance with that fear. We don't want to listen to our hearts because we just don't see the way it will ever work. We cannot see step by step how it will eventually take us to our desired outcome. So with the Queen of Swords, if you are on a more positive, conscious aspect of this card, then you are really taking a stance of being rational, being mindful about your options, and really deciding wisely. But if you fall on the more shadow aspect of this, then yes, it could be that you are resisting your emotions, or you are approaching the situation from a standpoint of fear, as opposed to listening to your heart and really paying attention to what your instincts are trying to tell you, where they are trying to guide you. So you see for yourself where you are and how this makes and how this could make sense to you in your situation. But nevertheless, this is like a process of collecting information. And also this involves drawing from your existing wisdom, your existing knowledge and expertise, because it's not only that you are looking for some external information. So what would happen if you would choose one way or another? This is also about what I've been through, what are my experiences, what are experiences of maybe other people. So how can I incorporate all that into making this decision? So yes, indeed, there are some pretty serious thought processes going on with this Queen of Swords. And let's see what is going on your subconscious side. So what is it that you are not aware of, but what could help you in making this decision? And here you have the Lovers. So this card itself speaks about decisions and decision making. And with the Lovers, this ain't no small decision, let me tell you. This is like a decision that has a power to change your whole life. This is something pretty big and pretty important. And even if it doesn't feel like that at the moment, currently for you, it can eventually lead to some place where you realize that, oh my God, this was the first step toward a major shift in my life, and it has had a tremendous impact on me, because the Lovers is about those life decisions that are really important and that really takes you, or could potentially take you, in a completely different direction. That's why it's that's why it's so crucial to choose the right thing for yourself. And probably that's why I was inclined to mention the heart versus the mind, because here the question is, where does your truth lie? Does it lie in your mind, in what you know, or does it lie in your heart? So what is it for you? Because with the Lovers card, you need to choose the option that is in the closest alignment with your true self as possible. So with the Lovers card, the decision is not, oh, it doesn't matter what you choose type of thing. You can choose either way and you'll be fine. If you choose the wrong option, you risk repeating a lesson that you have been through already, because you obviously did not learn an important lesson from that experience, and you need to repeat it, because there is still something you you can still improve and get even more closer to yourself and become even more authentic. And the Lovers is really encouraging that you choose authentically the option that is truly yours. You commit to your life's purpose. So basically, this is that commitment. This is about making commitment to something you feel is your life's path, your purpose. You basically choose it. You say that, okay, this is me, this is what I'm doing, and I'm 100% committed to this path. So I'm asking again, where does that truth lie? Is it here in your mind, or is it here in your heart? Or is it a mixture of both? It depends on your personality, it depends on your strong suits and how you usually are, what are you better at. So this is something you really, really need to take your time to think about. But what's going on for you consciously? You have another queen, the Queen of Wands. And this one, well, she's very fiery and very passionate. And I think that this queen in this reading indicates that whatever is the thing that you are currently facing, it could be really inspiring you. And it could be really lighting you up and making you feel that you are coming alive. And actually, I think you are pretty close to making the right decision. And by right, I mean the decision that is truly the best match for your true self. Because the Queen of Wands, she is very expressive and creative and also confident. She has this self-belief and this entrepreneurial spirit to pursue her dreams and goals. And if I look at the Queen of Wands and the Lovers, it makes me excited about this new venture that is currently opening up to you. And one way this could play out is that you want to pursue some creative idea of yours, and you truly feel in your heart that this is something you want to do, this is your dream, you want to follow it, you want to pursue your vision, but then you don't want to fall into trap of that enthusiasm. You want to consider things carefully with the Queen of Swords. You want to make sure that you have not missed anything, and so that it's easier for you to really achieve your goals, basically. So if that's the case, that you are definitely on the right path. Well, but the shadow aspect or the downside of this could be if you lack that self-confidence, because that's the shadow side of the Queen of Wands. If you happen to be among those who have low self-esteem and who have most of their lives followed other people's footsteps just because they don't feel confident enough to curve their own path, if you are one of them, then again, do choose wisely and dare to take risks and be courageous, because that could be your biggest challenge with regards to this situation. Because in order for you to choose your path, you need to really connect with your self-worth and with that purpose of yours. And you have to trust your purpose. You have to believe in yourself and your abilities. So if you suffer from this low self-confidence and you doubt yourself constantly and you are afraid and not sure whether you can do it, then this is something you should be working through before you are able to pursue this path. And also it could have a big impact on what decision you make, because you could choose the safest way, which is to stay where you are, maybe to choose the safest option. So again, it depends on you, and you need to think carefully for yourself. And your advice is the Knight of Wands. So whatever is on your mind, just go for it. So indeed, deal with your insecurities if you have them. Collect all the facts if you need them, but go ahead with your idea. If that's an idea you want to pursue, do it. Do whatever it is that you want to do, because the Knight of Wands is, well, he is on a pursuit of his passion, basically. He's very fired up, very ambitious and enthusiastic. Yes, of course, he doesn't have all together. He may be lacking in experience here and there. So it could be in some way a new journey for you. So you could be going through some learning curve, but it's all part of the process. It's really a part of the process, and you will gain so much if you answer your heart's calling, or the calling of your life's purpose. Yes, indeed, considering your options and collecting the facts could be wise in this situation, because then you don't fall into trap of this excitement. You increase your chances of actually getting there and doing that in the long run, as opposed to just following your passion. But nevertheless, do it. Deal with your stuff and take that leap. And your outcome is Page of Swords. So this is a new thing for you in some way, because the Page of Swords indicates an attitude of learning, of again collecting facts, of collecting new information, of maybe asking a lot of questions. Is this the right thing to do? Is this the right way to do this? How can I get my intentions achieved? Especially if you have already established yourself and you want to continue growing, then it could be a bit hard for you to reorient back to this mindset of learning new things again, of being a total beginner in something. But let that not scare you, because again, it is all a part of the process, and this excitement that you follow and the learning curve that you need to move through, and everything that you need to learn, and also that mental chatter in your head that you need to deal with at some point, it will all get you closer to your life's purpose. So do take that challenge, do take that risk, because it is risky. It is risky, and there are no promises whatsoever. Nobody can guarantee a successful outcome for you. It is only you going and doing that and being on this path that you choose for yourself. So basically, yes, this is your message, group number 1, and I'm pretty excited about you, and I think that you should really go for it and have the courage and also the wisdom to follow through. Okay, I hope you liked this reading, and I'll talk to you soon in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello again. So this is your reading if you picked the second tarot deck, which is the Ostara tarot. And I have already shuffled the cards and laid them out to save time. And today I have picked one of my favorite spreads, which I call the integration spread, because it considers both the conscious and subconscious aspects of your question. And I think this is the best way I can give you the most meaningful information with regards to the decision that you need to make right now, group number 2. So I hope it will be useful to you. But at first, let's take a look at your decision and what is going on currently for you with regards to it. And here you have the Hermit card. So interesting. The Hermit is a card of soul searching, of looking for answers deep within, of spirituality and spiritual practices, of loneliness and seclusion, and basically withdrawing from the noisy external world and going deep within in your own inner space. So with regards to the decision that you need to make, this could mean several things for you, depending on who you are and what's going on for you, since this is a general reading. You could be, this is precisely the path or the approach that you could have picked in order to make that decision, or you are trying to be more independent and autonomous, maybe, on making this decision, and listen more to what you have to say about that and what is your truth regarding this, as opposed to listening to other people's opinions and following their advice and suggestions. It could also be that the need to make the decision in the first place have arisen precisely because of that inner search, of that soul-searching process that you have been through or are currently on, and it has raised a lot of insights for you, and now you realize that there is something you need to change, and change requires decision making. It could also be that if we are looking more on this shadow aspect of this card, it could also be that you feel a bit isolated. And what you truly want is to connect back to life again. And your decision is about that. Maybe you don't know really how to do that. What would be the best approach to take to get back on track, to get back on living, to progress with your dreams and goals, and to get things going, to get life in motion again. Because with the Hermit, if you go too deep and if you just slip too far away from the reality, then you kind of lose yourself. There is that risk that might happen. And if you are among those who are in this position, then your decision could be a way to get back on track with your life, where you can actually see the results of your effort. Okay, but nevertheless, what is happening in your subconscious side? What are the aspects you are not aware of? And you have the Moon. So again, this is a pretty spiritual energy, a pretty introverted energy, which actually goes pretty good with the Hermit card. So whatever is this decision that you are currently facing, group number 2, there is this element of your subconscious mind, of your psyche, of the spiritual energy, which is very, very strong here. And maybe it's hard for you to make sense of it. You feel that there is something more, something you cannot really see. You can kind of perceive it, but then you cannot make a real sense of it. So you are hesitant and afraid, because the Moon also it can hold a lot of fear. It's like this, it reminds me of this 12th house Neptune energy, if you know astrology, and it's such a deep and vast place where so much is hidden. There is so much hidden in your psyche, in your subconscious mind. It's incredible, and also scary stuff. Also your past pains and your wounds and your deepest fears and all your demons. So it could be that all those things are currently having a huge influence on your decision-making ability. And maybe you are looking for that clarity, and that could be precisely why you have taken on that journey of the Hermit, and basically why you are turning within, because well, you can see that this figure in the Hermit card is carrying a lamp to light his path. So he's taking the light with him, and he is journeying into the night, and the Moon is the night. This is that big unknown that you want to explore, because for one reason or another you feel that there are some answers that lie there that you need to find and that could have a huge impact on your whole situation. You are seeking for some clarity, and you want to make sense of those deeper workings of your own psyche, because there is this element of mystery in your situation, and you want to clarify that. You want that fog to dissolve, and you want to see what's actually going on. Or maybe you are very afraid of that uncertainty, and you feel uncomfortable with that. There is like a secret, something unknown that you need to solve. And what's going on for you consciously? How does it make you feel? You have the Four of Swords, the Five of Swords. So you are facing a conflict of some kind. Maybe precisely because you don't know this answer, you have not solved this mystery yet. This conflict exists. There is a pretty big sense of uneasiness here with these cards. So on one hand, you want to seek for that clarity. On the other hand, it could be that you just want to get away from that conflict, and that could be another reason why you are journeying within and why you are turning away from this situation that is causing you some kind of a trouble. It could be an actual situation that you are facing. Maybe it could be a phase in your life that you are going through currently, and then you simply don't know how to deal with that. And the best option for you is to, okay, if I cannot find my answers outside, I will go and look for them within. I will try to examine what is making me feel the way I feel. Why am I so stuck? Why can't I solve this situation and get over it? Because indeed, with the Five of Swords, this often speaks about situations that cannot be solved. It speaks about battles that cannot be won. Nobody wins the battle of the Five of Swords. And sometimes the best option is simply to turn your back on that and leave. Take what you can, learn your lesson, but don't stay in that position. But still, your decision feels pretty foggy at this point. It's like it's not there yet. You need to explore more in order to be able to actually decide on one of the options that you have. You need to explore the options in the first place. So that is how these cards feel to me at this point. Okay, but your advice. So what you are advised to do regarding this decision, and you have the Two of Swords. So this is a decision itself. This is that crossroad where you are standing and you need to decide what to do, which way to go. Or maybe you will stay there a bit longer at that crossroad and consider your options. But that is not always a comfortable place to be, because you are neither here nor there. You don't want to stay where you are, but then you don't know what awaits you in either of options. Here again we can see that Moon. So difficulty to decide, difficulty to see clearly. But what is the main message with the Two of Swords is that if you cannot see clearly, do listen to your intuition. So that's why the path or the approach of the Hermit is actually the best one you can take right now. Even if you tune within yourself and you try to sort out all the various influences that you have going on within, all the various thoughts and emotions and feelings and because it's a pretty crowded place within, if you try to really, really make sense of that. But yes, you could get stuck. You could reach a point where you no longer know what to do and where to go, where there is a total confusion for you. But then eventually, a little voice appears. And that little voice is the one of your true self. That's the voice of your heart. And that voice is the one that is really speaking the truth. That voice is the one that knows the truth, even though you yourself cannot see it just yet. And that's exactly the thing you need to look for. That is that clarity you need to search. It's very, very subtle, very small, very tiny. And if you are afraid and if you are experiencing a lot of negative emotions and it is taking a toll on you, then you might not hear that voice. But how you can distinguish it out of all that crowd that could be going on within you, it doesn't have a particular emotion attached to it. It is impartial in a sense. It's very calm, it's very confident, but there is no emotion to it, except for maybe relief. That this is finally it. This is finally your outcome and your truth, and this is what you need to pick when it comes to your options. So do go and search for that voice. If any of your emotions feel overwhelming and very, very strong, that is probably not the right thread to follow. You should be looking for peace. You should be searching for that influence, that voice within that is bringing you more peace. And whenever you find something, a thought, an emotion, an insight, an idea, an impression of sorts, anything that makes you feel more at peace with yourself, then that is a good indication that you might be on the right track here with making this decision. What feels more peaceful? Okay, let's take a look at your outcome. And here you have the 9 of Cups. So whatever you decide for yourself, there is a sense of relief. I can finally relax because you can see that this girl here, she's fallen asleep, and there are some cats around her and they are asleep as well. And you know, if you know cats, then nobody can rest and enjoy it as good as cats can, because they are masters at that. So this card seems pretty out of context of all this, but not in a way that it doesn't make sense, but in a way that this is finally over for you. This struggle, this 5 of Swords struggle is finally over for you, and you are finally ready to, that sigh of relief. This is it. I'm done. Now I just want to take some time off and rejuvenate myself and have some rest and have some good times and take care of myself and indulge in things that really make me feel better about myself and my life. So I do suspect that you have a good chance to choose that most peaceful option that really brings you to that peaceful place where you are finally able to find that emotional comfort and to be emotionally comfortable with yourself and with the way things are, which I'm happy to report. So group number 2, really don't be afraid to look for those answers, to go to those difficult places within and to face away from this situation or conflict, because indeed it cannot be resolved. and trust that you will make the right decision for yourself, because what awaits you on the other side, when you finally stick to what you have decided, is that emotional peace and comfort when you are finally able to relax within yourself and have some good time to enjoy. Okay, group number 2, this is your message. I hope that you found it helpful, and I'll talk to you soon in my next video. Bye bye. Hello there again. So this is your reading if you picked the third tarot deck, which is the Visconti-Sforza Golden Tarot. And I have already shuffled the cards and laid them out to save time, and I have chosen one of my favorite spreads that I call the integration spread, because it helps you see both the conscious and subconscious influences when it comes to your question. And so I hope that this will be the best way I can give you an insight with regards to the decision that you need to make right now, group number 3. Okay? So, but let's take a look first at what is going on for you currently. What are your current experiences with this situation? You have the Temperance card. So right away, it's a major arcana card, and it could show that this decision that you are thinking of is pretty big for you. It's pretty important, and so is the consequences if for some reason you don't choose the right thing for yourself. The Temperance is about balance. It's about weighing your options and also being in alignment with yourself, so that there are no internal conflicts, there is no resistance, and you feel that this is indeed something that is truly in your best interest and truly in alignment with your intentions, with your deepest truths and values, and so that you have really made sure that you have taken into consideration all of those things, and this is the decision that really serves that. So this could be your attitude, this could be how you are looking at the situation, or it could also be that this is something that is currently not the case for you at all, and you are looking for that balance, that harmony and alignment, which helps you feel indeed this is it, this is the right thing for me to do. Maybe you are in a position where that is not the case at all, and that's why you're struggling. That's why you are looking for some additional insight and some guidance and clarity around your decision, so that you could get that balance back and decide what's the best for you. Okay, so this is how it feels for me, and this is something that you might be looking at, group number 3. Your subconscious influences, what's going on there in your subconscious mind? And it's the Ace of Cups. Well, I'm always very happy when this card comes up, because whenever I see the Ace of Cups, it's an indication, for me at least, that this is your heart talking to you. This is your heart's calling. And there is something that inspires you. It is that source of inspiration that we all have within, but not all of us. I would even say that most of us are not connected with that source of inspiration and energy and passion and love and wisdom and this deep knowing that this is my path, this is what I have to do, this is what I want to do because I feel inspired to. I cannot not do it. Most of us are not connected to that energy and that wisdom and that knowledge. So when it comes to you, there could be some bits and pieces of that beautiful, loving energy that is coming into your life, that's coming into your conscious waking life. And maybe you don't know it fully yet. You cannot put your finger on that and say, yes, this is that, this is it. But nevertheless, you feel drawn towards something. There is a need for you to explore on a more deeper level. What is that deeper calling? But maybe you are among those who already know what your calling is, and what this card refers to is the right timing, that it comes as a message to you and says, now it's time to take action. Now it's time that you do something with regards to your calling, with regards to those things that inspire you and that you want to do. So, nevertheless, you feel it. And this combination, the Ace of Cups and the Temperance card, it feels like really a home of your soul itself. It feels very soothing, very relaxing, very harmonious, but at the same time, it feels like a bliss. Something that is very positive and inspiring, and really something that you are meant to do, that your soul craves to do. If you are one of those who are only looking for that knowing, then rest assured that it is there for you. You do have that source within. You do have that purpose within. And once you are able to connect with that, it will fill you up. You will feel the love that resides within you. For you, it's just a matter of connecting to that. But what you need to be able to do that is the belief that it is possible. And this message is telling you that, yes, it is there. It is possible for you to connect to that. You can find that balance, and you can find your sweet spot and align your life with your higher purpose and something that lives in your heart and something that is your thing to do. It's totally possible for you if you are still in doubt and being uncertain about that. This is a yes to that. Now it's only a matter of time and some effort for you to get there past your doubt, so that you can really get in touch with that and see how beautiful it is for you. And consciously, what's happening for you, what are your intentions and what's on your mind? You have the Queen of Wands. Well, group number 1 had the same card, so I will give a pretty similar explanation to this card as well. And the Queen of Wands is somebody with an entrepreneurial spirit. She's passionate, she's enthusiastic, she's very charismatic. She knows what she wants, and she's all fired up to express herself creatively. So this could be some idea that you want to bring forward. Maybe it's your own business. Maybe it's your personality that you want to improve, because the Queen of Wands is also somebody who's very confident about herself. She's very beautiful and loving and caring, but at the same time, she's very charismatic because of her own self-belief, because of her energy that is very, very strong and that takes over everybody who comes close to her. So again, as I said, if you already know what is your calling, then here you have no doubt at all with this Queen of Wands energy. You know that, you know what you want to do, you are all inspired, you are all ready to go, and there is basically nothing that can stop you, and nothing should stop you. Yes, of course, you could try to find ways how to manage everything more effectively and how to make sure that you really get there and really achieve your goals. Of course, that's another thing, and you can do that and you should do that. But when it comes to the decision itself, just go for it and really don't let anything stop you, because you are beautiful, you are radiant, and this is your calling. You should really follow it. There's no doubt about that. But if you are more on the shadow side, as I said, if you don't yet have a connection with this source within, and if you suffer from low self-esteem, and if you have issues with believing in yourself, then for you it will take a bit longer. But what I can say to you, and what you must really take in, is that it is possible for you to do that. And the lack of self-belief at this moment is not an indication by any means that you won't be able to achieve your dreams and goals. Even if right now you cannot imagine yourself getting from the place you are currently at to the place where your dreams have come true, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that you believe that it's possible for you to do that. And the cards are telling you, yes, it is possible. Definitely. It is just a matter of you finding that self-belief and trusting yourself. And if you find it hard to do that all by yourself, then really go ahead and invite some help. Be inspired by other people. Be around people who inspire you. Learn from them. Take on their mindset and attitude towards their ideas and their life and their dreams and their goals. And you will get there. You have all what it takes inside. All you need to do is just dig a little bit deeper to get it all out and put it all to good use. And your advice, group number 3, is the Knight of Pentacles. So actually, indeed, your reading is very similar with the group number 1. The only difference is that the Knight of Pentacles encourages you to take a more slower pace with regards to progressing with your decision, and to really make sure that it is grounded in reality, because that's what the Knight of Pentacles is all about, being grounded in reality. So it does seem that you, group number 3, you do need some more time to really evaluate your options, to really think about what is the best way and approach to achieve your goals, and what could be practically done. What are the practical steps of that? What is the strategy here to make sure that you can actually physically do that, and that you have the resources, or will be able to have the resources later on. So basically your advice is to have a very practical approach to this decision. So what does it mean to you is that if you have this inspiring idea, or if you are looking forward to have one, then that is nevertheless something that you must pursue, and there is absolutely no doubt about that. It could be simply a matter of finding that self-belief that is necessary for you to follow that idea or that inspiration or that dream of yours. But when it comes to really doing the job required to get there, be very, very careful and cautious. Don't rush into things, and look at the more realistic options. It could be that maybe for the time being, some of your ideas are not viable at this point, but you should not discard them as such. You just need to put them aside when there are more opportunities for you that you can take, and when you are more skilled or have more resources to implement those ideas. So do take this reality check and make sure that whatever step you take, whatever decision you make, and whatever option you choose, it's really grounded in reality, and you can really make sure that you can do that. If you feel you can't, pause for a little while, And as I said, maybe postpone something and choose something else that you can do right now that is realistic. And this is also how you will build up that self-confidence that might be an issue for some of you. By taking small steps little by little, by making daily progresses, little daily progresses, you will actually be able to build up your confidence and see that you can really achieve what you have set out to achieve. Just make sure that you go for a win. So you choose things that are realistic to implement. And your outcome, interesting, is Devil. So I think that there is a reason why you are warned to take those small, realistic steps as opposed to take the leap of faith and throw yourself all in into an idea or endeavor or a business plan or a relationship or whatever it is that you are trying to decide on. Because the Devil here is a warning that there might be something about you that you are kind of, how to say that, dependent upon. You are not necessarily free in your decisions, and there could be some temptations that you feel. You are very attracted and drawn towards certain options, and these are not necessarily the best options for you. And the Devil warns you against that, along with this Knight of Pentacles, that you might fall into trap of your own temptations and you might choose in accordance with that, what you desire the most. That could be your main motive when it comes to making this decision, which is not the best motive at all. Because what you will accomplish is you will only get yourself deeper into this issue. It's like a dependency on something. It's something that is opposite of freedom and free creation. So do think about that very, very carefully, group number 3. As I said, your calling, the one you feel inside or the one you are striving to connect with, it's absolutely correct and it's absolutely your path, your calling, your source of inspiration, and you should absolutely listen to that. But there are other things, other layers that you need to peel off before you are ready to truly connect with your calling, so that you are able to connect and stay on your path. And that's why I believe the Temperance card is also here, because you need to balance it out. You need to be very, very careful as opposed to going for that without thinking things through, without preparing, without even making any assessments whether it's realistic or not, whether it will take you where your heart is calling you or not. So this is your advice and your reading, group number 3. You will have to face your fear at some point, and you will have to set yourself free at some point from whatever dependency is going on for you, whatever your temptation is. So you will have to deal with that in order to get there. So decide wisely and be very careful and cautious. And don't hurry too fast, don't rush into anything without really grounding yourself in reality. Okay, so this is your reading, your advice with regards to your decision, group number 3. I hope you can get some helpful insight out of that, and I will talk to you soon in my next video. Bye bye. Hello and welcome back, group number 4. This is your reading if you picked the Dreams of Gaia Tarot, the 4th tarot deck in my selection. And I have already shuffled the cards and laid them out to save time. And today I will use the integration spread that I really like, because it helps us consider both the subconscious and conscious influences with regards to the question, which in this case is about the decision that you need to make. So what could be helpful for you to know? And first, let's take a look at your current situation relative to your decision. And here you have the Father. So this decision, this is a major arcana card, and it indicates that this is a pretty important decision for you. It's not any ordinary decision that you make on a daily basis. This is something that has a potential to have some far-reaching consequences for you and your life's progression. So that is why it's important to choose wisely, to make the right decision for yourself, and probably that's why you are looking for some additional guidance and insight on that. And the Father is all about building things and taking on more responsibility and expanding. So you could be on a path of becoming more independent and taking on more responsibility. It could be like a promotion, if that's a career related thing, and if that's what your decision is about. It could be your own business. It could be a committed relationship where you take responsibility for the other person. So basically it could play out in many different ways, since this is a general reading. But nevertheless, you want to assume more responsibility and also power over whatever it is that you want to decide on. You want to be the one who has the last word with this decision. You want it to be your decision made by you, and you also want to take on any responsibility when it comes to the consequences of this decision. Or at least that is the attitude that you are invited to hold relative to this situation that you are currently in. If you are having any self-doubt, then this is exactly what you need to change in your attitude. Don't let others dictate what you want, and really have your own mind and know what it is that you find important, what matters to you. And that is the mindset you should adopt if you want to make the best decision for yourself at this time. Because what is going on for you subconsciously, you have the Maiden. It has this aura of purity and innocence to it. And when I look at it, it reminds me of something that is your passion and your calling, and something that you feel very good doing. You are truly enjoying yourself and what you are creating here. And I think that this is the force or the influence that is behind the situation in the first place, that has created the need to decide on something, that has brought you to this situation. And you really want to have more of that in your life. You want to be more inspired, more playful even, and not be bothered or overwhelmed by heavy duties and obligations that demand so much of you, but then they don't really give anything back, or they drain you but don't inspire you. So yes, and it's actually interesting how those two things play out, because I mentioned that you should not listen to other people's opinions, and that you should have your own mind and your own ability to think for yourself. And this is also how you realize that maybe currently there are many expectations in your life that come really from other people, that come from the outside. And you are trying to live up to those expectations. You are trying to carry that burden provided by other people, provided by the way life should normally be, by those society standards or your community standards. That is the definition of normal life for the majority of people. But then at some point you realize that there is something very wrong with the whole concept of that, and you feel really drained and exhausted, and you are longing for this lightness and joyfulness. You want to be happy in your life. And that's why it's important that you take full responsibility for your life and for your decisions with the Father card. And I do believe that you have already reached the point where you already know that. And that is the energy that you already bring forth. But when it comes to the conscious influences of your situation, what's on your mind? Then you have the Three of Water. So pretty similar, I would say, to the Maiden card. This is a card of joy and pleasure and having fun and really immersing yourself in activities that is pleasurable to you, that brings you that joy. So you are truly looking for more lightness and happiness and playfulness in your life. You could be indeed sick and tired of all the boring and heavy stuff that you need to be responsible for, and you want to eradicate it all, sweep it all away, open a new page in your life, a new chapter in your life, and start anew and really fill your life with things that inspire you and that make you feel good about yourself and what you're doing. The only warning that you could have here is that, as I mentioned about the responsibility, you must be responsible, like 100% responsible for your decisions and your actions and your choices about everything from this point on, because don't expect it to be easy. Don't expect that joy to come to you for free, so to speak, because you need to put in the work. You need to grow that person within you that can handle such a lifestyle, that can handle and flourish on that joy and freedom and happiness. Freedom comes with great responsibility, because now, if you are free, everything is up to you. You need to know for yourself what to do, what is the best for you. You need to know yourself. You need to know what are your goals, what you want to change, what you want to create, how you want things to be. And then you go ahead and do that. Use that freedom to create that, to do that. But again, it is you. At the end of the day, it is you. You take the action and you are responsible for the outcome. If you don't listen to other people, if you don't follow their expectations, you also don't blame them for being unsuccessful maybe, or for not making progress as quickly as you would like to. You take it all on yourself. That's the only warning here with those energies. But nevertheless, if you are looking for that more joyful life filled with things that bring you joy, as opposed to that heaviness and struggle, then indeed, this is a decision for you, and this is something that you need to take into account, whether that decision is bringing you more joy or taking away from it. And also, Are you willing to be responsible for the consequences of your decision or not? Would you rather leave it up to other people to take care of the consequences of your decision? So these are the two major arguments you should be looking at while making your decision. And you have the counselor as your advice. So what could that mean? Well, it could be literally that you need some counseling to do that. Maybe indeed you need a little bit more time to align those two concepts I mentioned, the joy and the happiness and the responsibility, to align those within you and understand how it works for you and to really make sense of them so that you can really understand what it is and how it is true in your situation. And how can you really apply those concepts in making your decision so that you don't make a mistake instead of a decision, so that you don't choose wrongly for yourself. But also the counselor could be your own inner wisdom, your own emotions, basically. I mean, if you consult the way you feel, it is oftentimes the best indicator of whether you are taking the right decision or not for yourself. Because if you think about an option and it makes you feel bad in some way or resistant in some way, or something inside you tenses up or shrinks a little bit smaller, even though you kind of know that that could be the right decision, no, with your mind, not with your heart, that's a sign that you should not be taking that path. And on the other hand, if you think about an option and something inside lights up and you feel inspired or peaceful or something loosens up here in this area of your body, then it's a good indication that you should go for that option, even though it may not make sense right away when you are approaching that from a rational point of view. Because often we don't know how our heart's choices will unfold. There is that free creation involved, and what has not been created yet doesn't exist in a world that your mind can pick up as real evidence for you. So this is the approach you should take to make that decision. Truly be wise here when it comes to that. Don't fall for the quickest way, for the quickest option, just because it brings you instant pleasure, instant gratification. It is not something you want to do. This is not the real message for you. You should be looking at the long-term benefit and always remember the responsibility aspect of your decision. Lastly, your outcome card. Oh, isn't that beautiful? You have love. So you will indeed have a beautiful, beautiful opportunity to fall in love with your life. If you make your decision in alignment with your greater good, then this is what you get. So again, it doesn't matter what kind of decision it is exactly, whether you are looking for a relationship or a new career path, or you want to pursue a business idea, or you want to do something creative, you want to change your life in some way, maybe your daily habits, maybe you want to change yourself in some way or open up some aspects of yourself that you haven't been in touch with for a very, very long time. It really doesn't matter what it is, but the outcome can potentially be absolutely amazing for you. You find your true calling, you connect with your heart, you are on your path, and indeed, this is your life that you are living. This is your authentic life. It doesn't mean that it's all rainbows and unicorns. Of course, you are still a human being. You still have that human experience, and you will still run into trouble, and you will still have your bad days. It's not cancelled by any means, but what is important here is that you are living a more fulfilling life. And I cannot stop repeating myself, but your joy comes hand in hand with the responsibility. So do follow your bliss, but don't forget that you must be responsible for every single step that you take and every action that you perform. That's a prerequisite for you to be able to create that life of love for yourself. Indeed, group number 4, it feels that this is a very strong decision that you are currently facing and thinking about. And it's not going to be an easy path, but you can definitely do it, and the rewards are amazing, and it's like a turning point in your life. So do take your time and do consider your options, but most of all, do consider your attitude. What are you willing to do to stay committed to that? And if you are truly ready to commit 100% to this, then you will be successful. So this is what I see for you, group number 4. I truly hope that this message was helpful to you and that you could find something to take home from this. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.